Good morning, Cherries fans. It's the morning after the night before, and breaking news, Tom Jordan hasn't even got changed yet. You're still in the same gear, mate.
I'm back at the stadium before I was back at my house, mate, which is what it's all about, innit? You got to enjoy these moments. What a night. What a night.
I'm so glad it panned out like it did, mate. Before yesterday's game, I was going through all these permutations and I was getting palpitations thinking of all the different scenarios that played out, but thankfully, we got the job done, and mate, we're Premier League.
We're Premier League, and we were good on the night, weren't we? You know, credit to everyone. We said it in the preview. These players so far have turned up when it mattered in them big games, and we've done it again. I thought, Forest were very disappointing. I think they'll be disappointed. But I did think, even during the game, I thought, we're going to come out of this and go, points decent, but we could have won that. And then we had that moment with that free kick, well worked, and job done, mate. I thought we thoroughly deserved it. And pleased for Scott and the whole group, because we've got over the line, mate, and with a game to spare as well. So happy days. We can finally relax and enjoy a game of football on Saturday. It's going to be really weird.
I know we're not the ones playing the game of football, but as a fan, I felt as though there was this huge force, this immovable force that was coming from Nottingham, sent off with flares, almost like Liverpool Champions League style, and fans were giving it some on Twitter, and I thought, oh my goodness, maybe this is their time to shine after 23 years or whatever. But you know what? In the 90 minutes, that's all I really needed to worry about, and I didn't need to worry. No. They weren't as good as I thought they would be. And I thought that Scott Parker, tactically yesterday, he got it spot on. Yeah,
bang on. And it's probably a bit of Forest one on it, but also I think we deserve credit. We stifled them. We were the party poopers, weren't we? As you say, the run they've been on, and the neutrals definitely wanted Forest with the run they've been on, etc., etc. And we spoilt the party, mate, and we've done it really well from minute one, I felt. And as you say, Lerma looks like he gets a knock. Would have been easy to bring on Ben Pearson and go, let's not lose this game. And that's probably what, during the course of the season we'd have expected from Scott. But what he obviously saw in that moment was that, you know what, we can have these. They're not causing that many problems. And he brought Kiefer Moore on, and we were just talking to some fans that were here then, and we said, we think he's just a big lump and cause problems. He's a good footballer, a really good footballer. It was a really good finish, virtually the same part of the pitch that Pewey got the goal against Bolton. And like we said, amazing free kick. But like you say, in the 90 minutes, you think of all these things leading up to it, but at the end of the day, when 11v11 on the pitch, it's who turns up, and we turned up.
So let's just talk about the atmosphere then before kick-off, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And the fans got in early, it seemed. Yeah. I was there about 15 minutes before kick-off, and it was electric. Yeah. A few inflatables going about, but as soon as that Nonny Red Army chant started, mate, a spine tingling. Yeah. And then we kept on going as a fan base and kept on getting behind the side. And look, they responded, because I think that the opening sort of 10, 15 minutes of both halves, I thought we were very, very good. And we flashed the ball across the box a few times, and we were unlucky not to get on the end of it. But we certainly made Nottingham Forest worry. They had a few things to think about, didn't they? Yeah,
definitely. As I say, I think from the off, there's been a few games of late where we maybe started a little bit cold. We certainly didn't do that. And that's what we wanted to see. We looked like the team that had the momentum and had the form going for us. They looked nervy. We didn't look nervy. We looked like this is an opportunity to get the job done. Let's just go and do it, and let's leave it all on the pitch. And that's what we did. Like you say, a few chances. We probably didn't test the keeper enough early doors, but we were controlling things. And they were having little breaks, little things to just be wary of. But we were thoroughly in control. And like you say, the atmosphere was brilliant. I've never been at a home game where I've stood up so much. Do you know what I mean? It was just it was bouncing, and as you say, things like the Noddy thing, and obviously with the good news we heard with Brooksy before the game,
that
just all them best 7-minute kind of Brooksy chant. It was unbelievable. It, like you say, spine tingling, and everything just played into it, didn't it? And it just made for an unbelievable night.
They've got to say, I mean, their threats on the pitch were not unexpected. Jed Spence marauded forward a few times, cutting up the top of the pitch. Brennan Johnson had a few chances on the ball, but I thought Brennan Johnson actually not as good as I thought he was going to be. But Jed Spence obviously, and you know what, Sam Surridge was being a nuisance, wasn't he? And it was almost like Adam Smith was given the task to man mark him throughout, because he was tucked tight to him. And fair play to Sam Surridge. He is a championship striker on that appearance, and whilst he didn't net for them, he probably should They've got a penalty and he hit the bar, but he's doing a good job for them. But I thought that Adam Smith's experience showed, and he dealt with him really well, didn't he?
Yeah, another thing that was clever, I thought off the ball, we virtually went to a free, and Smith tucked right in, as you say, and that allowed Zamora to be the width on the other side. And as you say, mate, I thought their main threat was just putting the ball through the Surridge and being a nuisance. And I remember right early in the season when we played Stoke, when he was there, and he'd come off the bench, and I thought, he's a bit of an handful here, and he has something to prove. This is the club that he's kind of come through the ranks with, and he'll be out there going, I want to show you lot, you shouldn't have let me go.
Yeah.
And I thought he done well. He was he was going down, he was motivated. He wanted a player that looked like he, was like, I like Bournemouth. He just wanted to prove himself, and I respect that. But yeah, as you say, mate, the experience of Smithy, I thought Nat Phillips was brilliant, Lloyd Kelly was superb.
Yeah.
And yeah, we stood up to it, but there were a few hairy moments, hitting the crossbar. He probably just hits that when he should probably try and be a little bit more composed. It's probably what's always been Sam Surridge's thing, I think.
Yeah.
So he just hits it, and we got away with that one. But they were little warning signs that were weirdly good, I think, because we were controlling it. But you need them warning signs to think, don't take the foot off the pedal, because they can get in.
I don't want to say we're sidekicks or soothsayers, but in the last game I was talking about Philip Billing, and when he plays well, the team play well. You in the preview said, I bet they'll turn it around before the game. And lo and behold, when they switched it around, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Some little omens, isn't it? You think, oh, that's not good. You start worrying about it. But because of the way we started, I think that meant, the North Stand got off for it first half, and it was fine. But yeah, it was weird. So to you, it always feels like there's more chance of that happening when a previous player or a few previous players come back, because they know how much we like to, shoot at the North Stand second half. So yeah, a few little things that you got to try all them little bits, and fortunately it didn't matter, mate. But yeah, I that was an early sign. I thought, oh god, I don't like that.
And when the second half came, mate, I thought we were creating more chances. I'm trying to think when Travers, apart from at the end, really had to save a shot, and few and far between, really.
No.
I mean, in the first half, I know that I think it might have been Brennan Johnson who had a shot and it went straight down his throat, like he was. So, that was easy enough for him. But in the second half, I'm struggling. But we went up the pitch a few times. Jaden Anthony had a shot which the angle probably didn't favour him because he was on his right foot and he sort of flashed it across goal. Bryce Samba made a good save. Elsewhere, Dom Solanke was at a similar angle, flashed it into the side netting. But we were creating chances, and throughout it, I was thinking, like, when are Forest going to go for this?
That's what I thought, mate.
But they never really did.
No, I thought the same. I think it's one of them. We spoke about it in the preview. I do think it's easy to say it in hindsight, but if they had gone for us from the start, they could have, they probably looked at it and thought, Blackburn did that, Huddersfield did that, Coventry did that, and Bournemouth smashed them. So, if they had gone for it, say if they nicked the goal on, say, 70 minutes and finished off the game 1-0, everyone would have said, what a tactical masterclass from Cooper. It just didn't work. They clearly were waiting for their moment, but as you say, mate, I don't think they really went for it until we scored, and then they needed two, really. So yeah, it was a bit strange, and I do wonder if they froze a little bit. They've been, I kind of mentioned about that, weird because it's their rivals, but the Derby thing, right at the other end of the table, that when there was no pressure on them, they were just winning games. As soon as people went, they could do this, they couldn't. And I think with Forest, it's been, oh my God, look at Forest go, and now it's they can do this. And I do feel like they froze a little bit. I wonder if players like Lewis Grabban, for example, that experience, they probably missed that a little bit. And Cookie obviously got a head injury, so that affected him. You can see that early on. And quick mention to him, obviously, is it's been reported his dad's very unwell. So I hope he's all right, and I hope Cookie's all right. It was it must have been a weird game for Cookie. And I think he went down really early, and I don't think he really shook that off, to be fair. I think he ended up coming off, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we, obviously we gave him an applause and all that kind of stuff, but when you're in the throes of the 90 minutes, like there were a few boos and stuff, which you can kind of, he expected that, but it's pantomime booing, isn't it, really? Like, obviously, club legend, and we certainly wish him well with his personal news, but you know what, Forest are still in a good position to win the playoffs, and probably my favoured team based on their form. But you know what, I'm glad it's them and not us, because we would have probably faced Sheffield United maybe if they finished sixth.
Borough,
I wouldn't have fancied that whatsoever. So good luck to them. And now I'm just glad I can sit back, put my feet up, have my cocoa,
and enjoy the playoffs.
And just enjoy the playoffs, which are really good. But anyway, we got to talk about the goal. And from what I remember, it started off with the ball, a raking ball to the left-hand side, which Dom Solanke picked up, and then he sort of miscontrolled it or whatever, or a defender got a touch, and then I think it's Jordan Zamora had the ball, and he's running from left to right, and I said, no, at some stage he's going to hit this. He
Yeah,
didn't.
that's what I
He kept going. He's going to hit it. He kept going. And then he was felled. So from where I was in the North Stand, it was quite difficult to see sort of whereabouts it was, but it looked like it was in the D.
A lot of people cheered like it was a pen, didn't they?
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, because the referee pointed like that. I was like, oh, what, really? But it was almost too close. It was too close.
Yeah, it was. And I remember fans were all getting really excited because of how close. Because I think you always get really excited when it's really close, but then you start going, oh, actually, it'd be better if it was 20 yards further back for a shot, for example. And I was going, oh, everyone calm down. We hadn't scored a blooming free kick since Rico. Got no chance. We've been into the sky, this.
Yeah.
But, mate, yeah, what a clever free kick.
And is it right that I've read that it wasn't prepared or nothing that's been done on the training ground? Even though the Sky commentator said it was, it's easy to look like it was, but...
I think Scott even said it wasn't. It was off the cuff. And that's, credit to the boys. But I think also it's obviously Kiefer that gets the goal. He wouldn't have been lining up at the start of the game, so he probably wouldn't have worked on stuff like that.
True.
I mean, it surprised me that they didn't put anyone on him. I mean, they had a massive wall, and you're thinking, surely one of them's go and stand with him. But to be honest, the way Billion was, you were saying it earlier, the way Billion was setting up and his eyes are like, I'm shooting here. He looked like he was shooting.
What surprised me, I thought that they might have put a right-footed player to the left-hand side of the ball, but they had Billing there. Ryan Christie was there for a bit as well. But then Ryan Christie then skulked away, and then Billing, to his credit, and Sky Sports cameras zoom in on his face, he doesn't once look at Kiefer, and he looks as if he's going to smash the ball, and then he waits it perfectly. And that would have been so easy to Sky, because I've been in situations like that when the ball's coming to you relatively fast. He could have absolutely ballooned that, but he didn't.
He's got it quite early because he's right-footed as well. He can't wait for it to come across his body. It's not an easy finish, but yeah, we caught him cold there. And Kiefer, like I said, I mean, we talk about being a big lump. He's a decent footballer. That's a really good finish. Absolutely buzzing for him. I mean, Kenwyne Jones-esque. I mean, Kenwyne Jones ate your heart out, actually. This impact from Kiefer Moore.
What is it with Cardiff signings on promotion seasons, mate?
Forget about that. Unbelievable. It was a magical moment, mate. Really well worked, and it's kind of, it ticks every box, because then it's also, that's the sub we made to go for it. He's the one that gets the goal. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think I actually said I'll take a corner. Just drill it. If it takes deflection, we get a set piece. So, yeah, fair play to them. Yeah, they'll be looking at it from their perspective and going, why did we leave him? But from our perspective, it's really well worked.
But Kiefer Moore, though, he came on for Lerma, who got a knock. And at that stage, I was thinking, like, is he going for it here? But then I think Scott Parker could probably smell blood based on the fact that we started the second half so well and Forest were barely posing a threat. I thought, he thought, why not go for it? But I couldn't really work out for a while what formation we were playing when Kiefer was on. Could you enlighten me?
Yeah, he virtually went to a free, didn't he, and moved Smith. Like we were saying, he was kind of doing that anyway, but he went really with that free of Smith, Phillips and Kelly. Yeah. He moved Anthony over to the right-hand side because of his pace and his legs. He could play as kind of wing-back with Zamora. And then we kind of boxed that midfield where Lewis was still sitting, but he moved Christie in there, didn't he? He put Christie in there, obviously Billings in there. And then he kind of had Dom drifting in and around Kiefer. He was kind of off that left a little bit. And I think that's probably partly it as well. Obviously it's going for it, you bring on Kiefer Moore. But I think Scott trusts Dom that much that he thinks, if I need to put Dom in midfield, I can. He's that good, isn't he? So, yeah, it was clever, and it caught them off guard. I don't think they were expecting us to make that change and go for it. I think they would have probably been looking at it thinking the more the game goes on, the more Bournemouth are going to retreat and settle for the draw, and then we could go for it. Yeah. But we just never did that. And as I say, mate, credit to Scott, because it would have been so easy to bring on Ben Pearson and just tie it up and for Jeff. But he smelt blood. He smelt blood.
But obviously after the goal, we did tie it up, and we did make a few changes. But I mean, I've got to say that I didn't feel nervous
until Surridge got in.
Oh, I didn't feel nervous until the fourth official put up 8.
And what was that?
8 minutes.
I mean, what was that? Sometimes when things like that happen, I think
8 minutes.
Are they literally doing it for like the Sky cameras, like because it's a big game? Because I don't understand how there's 8. There's a few. I remember thinking, there'll probably be 5 there. 8 was outrageous.
I mean, in terms of the officiating, I mean, he let a lot go, didn't he, during the whole match?
Yeah, he did. Which
was good in some ways when it favoured us, but bad in other ways when, like, Jay-Z... There should have been a free kick, I think, in the first half where Jay-Z was basically shoved into the hoardings in front of the North Stand. I thought, how is that not a free kick?
It's weird, because then, like you say, I was thinking, he hadn't booked anyone here, and as soon as we score, Travers gets the ball, takes a millisecond longer, books him straight away. Oh, come on. And he started booking a few of us. But yeah, like you say, for 8 minutes, I thought we were pretty good. There was that one moment where Surridge got in.
So yeah,
quick free kick, I think.
So what was that? Yeah, Bryce Samba had a quick free kick on the halfway line. Was that it?
I think
and
that
then
was it.
he found a gap, and yeah, Jordan Zamora was caught a little bit cold, and you can see the reaction of Lloyd Kelly afterwards, giving him
makes an unbelievable block, by the way.
Yeah, he does. So explain. Yeah, was it? So who received the ball? Who picked up the ball?
I can't remember. And then it was Surridge got in.
Yeah,
so I just remember.
across.
I just remember looking up and Surridge was in, loads of space, but he kind of was too wide to shoot, so he just drilled one of them balls across goal. And Kelly comes in. I think he virtually hits it off his chest.
Yeah.
But as soon as he makes that block, he runs straight out to Zamora, grabs him, switch on, and that's that leadership that maybe we haven't seen or seen, or maybe I'm not saying not seen, but maybe doubted a little bit because of his age. And Lloyd showed that in their moments. And I think that was the corner where I think Travers maybe got a little punch on it.
Yes, that's right.
And then they ended up a few scraps. He might have got another corner.
Yeah, Bryce Samba ended up putting over. But one of those chances was offside, though, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And because I remember thinking, blimey, and then all of a sudden there's ironic cheers looking over to my left. Oh, it is offside anyway. Yeah. And look, if I'm perfectly honest, that one where the linesman put the flag up when Sam Surridge was felled by Mark Travers, I've watched it again, and it doesn't need me to say it. The Sky commentator said it himself. That was a pen.
Yeah, it probably was. It was probably. I think it looked like it was probably offside anyway. And then you look at it back and go, no, he was on. He was on. So that's you've got to get the rub of the green, mate. I always say it in that in the season where we won the league. People say, oh, we were just brilliant that season. I go, oh, of course we were. We barely got an injury all season. There's a reason why we play the same 11 every week. We never got any injuries, and that's the rub of the green. You've got to have rub of the green to get promoted. And that was a moment in the game where it went our way, fortunately. But probably got away with that one. But the way we were playing, if they had scored that early, they'd have retreated. I don't know. We were on it last night.
Yeah.
And I would have backed us either way, mate. I was buzzing.
Been looking at all the sort of social media reaction today, and it's so nice to see. I mean, I haven't looked much at Twitter, but I need to gorge myself. Go on, what?
Do you know local man's promoted? Oh, that was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm surprised you haven't got it on the back of your shirt. At some stage you probably will. Lerma promoted or something. But you know what? Obviously all the goading between Watford fans and even with Forest fans as well. It's something that I'm going to look back on. I think Sam Summers has bookmarked 1,000 tweets, so he'll be replying to each and every one, I'm absolutely certain. But obviously we're all delighted. And then I'm watching a video this morning of Scotty Parker who's chatting to his team, almost sort of really emotional, almost like chokes up, saying how proud he is of the players. And you know what? I'm proud of the players as well, but Parker, mate, he tactically he did get that right.
He got it right.
And you know what? It wasn't Parker ball that we've seen for a few times this season, and he's got criticism even from us about it. But that was almost like the best of both worlds. And if we've got that brand of football, yet also the resilience at the back, I'm happy going forward with that. We always just wanted the best kind of mix. And that performance, I think, that just encompassed everything that we really want.
Yeah, and we've always said looking forward, haven't we, that there was a lot of performances this season and a lot of games where you felt like we could have let the handbrake off a little bit more with the players we had. But we always said if he gets the job done, then deserves credit and then we'll see next season. Because did he just think this is the way to get out of the league? Is this a process where he thinks, you know what, playing this way is going to be better for us in the future, so I want to get it instilled in the players now. Only time will tell, mate. But yeah, it was a really nice moment, because I think all season we've kind of said about, Parker, just give us a bit more. He seems a little bit, oh, come on, just give a badge pump or just do something to get the fans on his side. And it's always been that, I've always looked at the guy, he seems like the guy who's just been like, I've got a job to do. And as soon as the job was done, and you say about that kind of speech in the changing room, I saw Scott Parker for the first time because he's got the job done, and he showed his kind of human side of, look, I'm quite emotional, quite choked up, I'm proud of these players, had a bit of a laugh at them and stuff, and I thought, you know what, fair play to him, he's got the job done, and now he's enjoying it. I
mean, ever the professional, but it did make me laugh though, because the fans are going absolutely nuts. Mike Botto on the mic is loving life. He managed just to get Scott Parker. Fans should have got off the pitch a lot quicker than what they did in the end. Blimey, that was a struggle.
Well, Fletch was busy taking selfies with them all. Couldn't get off.
But and then Mike Botto was really excited. Scott, how are you feeling? It's it's all right. I was good. Come on, Scott.
I know. He has definitely got a bit about that.
He has.
Reminds me a little bit of, funnily enough, who was in the bar last night, Sean O'Driscoll, ex-manager.
He was in the 1910.
Yeah, good to see him. And he was that sort of manager. I always felt like, come on, just get up for it a bit. But Mate, he got, as you say, last night, and actually, we said it in the preview, Luton away, they scored last kick. That aside, every single big football match, Fulham never beat us. Forest, 6 points. Huddersfield, 6 points. You know, Blackburn, we just beat them. We've just beaten Coventry when it mattered. And in the moments it mattered, they were the games where I thought we showed up and we looked like the experienced team. We've got a lot of young players still, but we look like a team that, when it matters, we're going to leave everything on the pitch. And that's the team you can be proud of. So, yeah, I just buzzed at the CMCs, mate. The players deserve it. So they've got over the line and...
I mean, look, we've got so much time in the close season to talk about this kind of thing. But in brief, do you think we'll be bringing in new players? Or I mean, you know, a lot of the personnel that we've got have got Premier League experience, but it's not going to be wholesale changes, is it?
Wouldn't have thought so. We've got quite a young group as well. I do think we'll try Nat Phillips. If it's not a signing, try and even keep him for another season. I mean, we're fortunate that he's at Liverpool, where he's going to very struggle to get in that team. So hopefully, I think he's grown with every game. Him and Lloyd as a partnership as well. I think there's probably a few in terms of your Kales, potentially your Marcondezes, your Mephams, maybe that might need to go to play football because they're going to struggle, or with Kale maybe even retire. There'll probably be a few areas we'll look at, and obviously there's a few players that we're not sure. Ethan Laird, Todd Cantwell, what we're going to do with them sort of players. But also you forget we've got obviously Kiefer Moore will feel like a new signing because we've only seen him a little bit. What would he do with Brady? There's loads of questions, but I don't think it'll be wholesale. I think we said about this squad is massive, and he's built that ready now for next season hopefully. So yeah, it'll be really interesting. We'll probably make bits and bobs. And we'll see what happens. There might be a few that come in for our players, but we're in a position now, mate. We're promoted. We can fight them off now, and bit of cash in for the club as well, which I think is a key thing as well.
A lot of activity in the car park this morning. There's a lot of the players' cars.
I think Mark McAdam's waiting for us over there.
Yeah. We might have to see Mark McAdam in a minute. But a lot of the players are obviously had a few drinks last night. They didn't go into town that we all thought would happen, but they had a few drinks here, and you know, fair play to them. It's quite an emotional day, like yesterday, like a lot of anxiety. I mean, they must have been knackered after a few drinks, so they weren't up for going to Halo, but had a few drinks here by all accounts, and they're slowly drip-drabbing in, collecting their cars, and
nice cars.
No, yeah, they're
showroom
all right.
there, isn't
I mean, it's no Kia Ceed, but it's fine. But yeah, you know, they deserve those drinks last night. I'm sure they'll have a day off, probably no more than a day, because I'm sure that he'll want to finish the season on a high, mate. Just quite intrigued to see what happens on Saturday in terms of team selection, etc.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I think the main thing is, you know, talk about rotation and stuff. Anyone that's been playing through the pain barrier a little bit will probably be left out. I'm thinking your Zamuras, who's just come back from a hamstring injury. Lerma obviously can't. There's no need to risk any of them. But also there'll be sentimental side of it as well. Dom Solanke, will he start every single game? That'll be a nice touch. He'll look at, as I kind of mentioned then, we're talking about players. Will he look for Kale to say goodbye, for example? Will he look at someone like Mepham, who every single time, he come on again last night, he's called upon, he just comes in, does a job, doesn't moan about it, and just helps us when needed. And then as soon as someone's back, he drops out the team again, could easily get Strop in, he doesn't. Will it be a chance to go on, you can have a game? Will he look at a new system, potentially? He can try all these things, but knowing Scott Parker and what we've seen from him, he will not want to finish the season without a win, mate. And be interesting, because I'm almost now thinking, I think we're going to rip the floor with them. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see people like Marcondez. Well, Marcondez last night, by the way.
I promise the vlog will come out later on today. I promise it will.
Shirtless Emmy.
Yeah, shirtless Emmy. There you go. There's a
shirtless Emmy. Gave me a semi.
There's a spoiler for you. But Tom, it's been wonderful. A wonderful season, mate.
Roller coaster.
All 46. Loved it.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely loved it. Loved all the support of the channel as well. It's been great doing it, and it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Even through the rocky moments, you know, I think we've always tried to give both sides, always had good debates with fans, and it was just nice to, when it comes to an end, you can smile about it, because what a season, we've got the job done, mate. So absolutely delighted. Can't wait for next season. Oh, I'm absolutely shattered.
Yeah, this boy needs to get some shot eye. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, vlogs on the way, and maybe some more content besides.
No, I know how I can end it.
Go on.
I told you.
Oh, the cherries.
We don't lose.